Welcome on into this video. We're talking about TradeZella today, and we're going to be going through a complete beginner's guide to TradeZella, talking about what it is, what it has to offer, and then we're going to dive into the background of my own TradeZella accounts so you can see how I'm using it and different use cases that you may find valuable to you with a platform like this. So TradeZella, as said right here, is your all-in-one trading journal and analytics tool. Now, what TradeZella really does is it gives you a place to journal your trades and then do a lot more at the same time. So the value proposition is you don't have to put your trades in your own trading journal or log your trades in your own Excel spreadsheets and whatnot and do your own analysis. They're pretty much going to do all of the hard work for you. And then all you have to do is come in, you can look at the cool bars, the cool numbers, the cool colors that they'll calculate automatically for you. And then you can write in and log different things. You can mark things. You could tag your trades as XYZ. You can tag mistakes. And then when you do all of those things, it's all going to be tracked. And then you could look through the deeper analytics and the reporting tools on the back end to pretty much figure out like what's the core problem, what's good in your trading, what you need to eliminate, and then how you can scale it up really over time. So, while most people are ultimately not going to be consistently profitable in the grand scheme of things, knowing your numbers and creating a systematic approach and using something like a trading journal, not necessarily TradeZella, I think is beneficial. We've talked about it in the past before. I think it's beneficial at the end of the day. This right here, they cover stocks. If you trade options, Forex, futures, crypto, pretty much whatever you want, they will have. Now, what this is not for, as of now, this may change, but as of now, this is not for your investment portfolio. Don't think you can come in here, connect, your whatever account, and then sell covered calls, do all these different option strategies and dividends and this and that, and think that it's going to be tracked perfectly. This is more for the trader, okay? In my experience, I've tried to connect a Robinhood portfolio where I've sold covered calls. They can't handle that. That's not part of what they do as of now. I'm sure that's something that they're working on in the back end. They've done a really good job of improving the features ever since I, over a year ago, signed up for TradeZella and have been using it for well over a year and paying for TradeZella, paying for it myself. Yes, they are not paying me to make this video. Inside of TradeZella, we're going to get into it right now, but I just want to cover this kind of main page and talk about the value proposition and all that stuff. It's not possible that we're going to be able to cover every single tiny piece to it, but in a nutshell, we'll be able to dive into things like this. Here's kind of like your basic trade layout, the journaling feature. You can write, whatever you want to write in the journal section. The reporting section is where we can deep dive into the analytics and figure out, hey, what's going on. We can even replay trades, which is awesome. And then they have a whole education aspect as well. And they post a lot of stuff on social media. So it's something that, it's a place that they seem to be doing the right things. They seem to be actually caring about, helping traders succeed and all that good stuff. So I will mention broker support first because this is important. If you want to have your brokers synced or auto-synced, that's not a huge deal. We'll cover what that means. I'll go into my account and show you how it works. But there's only a couple brokers that allow auto-sync. That's MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, okay? And then interactive brokers, we've got Robinhood, we've got TD Ameritrader, now Schwab's Thinkorswim platform, TradeStation, that's all. Outside of that, you can track different things and different brokers will have different availabilities. They're working to improve this and they have been doing an incredible job, in my opinion, of improving this over time. But the auto sync is cool, but you don't need to do that. You can download your files. You can also log your trades manually, and just that kind of is a little more time consuming, but you could do that. Or what I've done on Webull in the past, I don't really use Webull right now for a lot of day trades, but what I've done in the past is all I do is I go and I export my file, my log, my trading logs for the day, and I upload it to TradeZella, and within seconds, they've got the trades and everything, and all the timestamps, everything is tracked. I think we have a video here on the channel covering how to do that with Webull, and you can do that and look up other videos if you get other platforms to download your trade profile. So That's the deal there. Futures, we're just going to cover into it right here. So here's the past, or here's this quarter. I've got it set for Q4 right now in my own TradeZella account. And you can see the cumulative P&L. I have it in dark mode. If you go down, well, let's just dive into it on the left-hand side. This is the dashboard. Okay, this is kind of like the page. If you see screenshots on social media and whatnot, yes, this is the dashboard. You're going to probably see quite a bit of this. And it's a lot of good information just right here in a nutshell. You know, there's a lot of good information on the dashboard already, you know, that, you know, it puts it all in one place so you can pretty much see it pretty nice and clear. So what we have is up in the top left, your net P&L. This number is your total trades. We have the trade expectancy, $10.78 per trade. Again, that's because of the amount of trades, my average win-loss, win rate. It factors all that stuff into account. So what this tells me is that as of right now, if I take a trade, I can expect to make $10.78. I'll tell you that no trade makes me $10.78 because either there's partial profits that get taken, either a stop loss gets hit or take profits get hit, and take profits are generally over $100. Not generally, they are all over $100. So I don't take $10 trades, but that's what the trade expectancy means. And they have these little information dots, so it kind of shows you in a nutshell like what that means. Profit factor 1.32, which means you're profitable over 1, means you have a profitable system, or at least for the time frame that we are looking at, you've been profitable. Average win rate, which we definitely can improve here. It hasn't been the best past. Well, I guess the start of November when I'm filming this video wasn't great. A lot of trades in here that just didn't work. And so that kind of threw a little bit of a wrench. But if you go back to, let's go back to October, a lot of green in October. So a lot more green, a lot of trades, a lot more trades worked then. And then we also had a decently large loss. That was, I'll explain what that is in a second. Average win loss. So my average winner is 95. And that's factoring in some trades that I move my stop loss up and it's like partial profits, or I take partial profits and then the rest of it gets stopped out for break even. You know, so it's factoring all that and trades that end up making, you know, well over $100. So it's factoring all that into account. And then my average loser is 63 for this period. And you can track different accounts. I'm currently looking at the 2 accounts that I've been day trading on specifically, or not day trading on, more so actively trading on over the past 2 months or this quarter so far. Been pretty quiet. Not quiet, but I mean, it hasn't been like super risk on for my strategy. So this past couple of weeks, it's been kind of chill. I haven't really been needing to push pace or size up or any of that stuff. So that's how I've been. That's in a nutshell there. I think their net P&L each day. This day right here looks terrible. That was actually right on here, the 13th of November. That in reality was day trades, but also I had taken a loss on a swing that I was holding that was, I think, like $100 or $200. So it added to that. It makes it look a lot worse. But that wasn't all like all day trades. Oh man, you suck. You had a massive loss. Although that is probably one of the things that I've had a problem with in the past is that, you know, I have a lot more winning days than red days. But sometimes those red days can be a little bit too large. And so it's adjusting your risk management, adjusting max stops or max loss days and all that stuff. But there you guys have, that's like the basic page right here. You've got recent trades, you've got open positions, all that stuff is still on the left-hand side. And yeah, so that's the dashboard. This obviously we're going to dive into deeper what this means and how we can get at, you know, more information here. So on the left-hand side, let's talk about adding trades. Like this is our dashboard, but like you can't even get a dashboard if you don't add trades. So you got to go to where it says add trade. Okay. Now when we have the add trade, you have options. Now for me, I have used a Webull for a long time. And so I have it selected as I can name accounts. Like I have different accounts that I've been using here. So I'll name my account, which I'll show you those in a second. And then I have the broker that I'm going to be pulling in through is Webull. So that's the broker that I was pulling in through or uploading files from. So I would export the trade log from Webull at the end of a day, and then just literally paste that link or paste that file into TradeZella, and then they do all the dirty work. So that's one way you can upload files. Broker sync is the next way. Currently, I only have one broker that's automatically synced, and that's my prop firm account on SurgeTrader via MetaTrader 5. So every, I think, couple hours, they do an automatic sync. And then every 30 minutes or an hour, I could just hit the manual resync, which will just automatically have them send my trades over from MetaTrader, from that MetaTrader 5 account to TradeZella. You have to log in with your account credentials. And if I click on add new broker, here's where I can go ahead and do that. And I can add that as an auto sync option. Okay. So there's that option. And then there's the manual. So you pick your account that you want to log the trade under, go through there, talk about or select what type of, vehicle you are trading, put the symbol in, and then create your executions. Now, again, you could technically do this. It's time consuming. If you only trade like, a couple times a week, if you're a swing trader, maybe this is totally fine. If you somehow don't use one of the brokers that are accepted on TradeZella, it's much easier if you can download the file or automatically connect it, so you don't have to worry about it. And not to mention, there will be no errors. You're not going to have any errors from that. Or I guess in theory you could, but with a sync error, but generally speaking, there should be minimal errors. So those are your options to add trades. Once you add trades, you're good to go. Now, if I go up to the top right, we have time horizon. Also, this is actually a pretty cool feature too. Before we get into time horizon, there's this. So I have it currently set to dollar, so you can see my dollar amounts and all this stuff, but you can set it to percentages. You can set it to privacy, which means you can't see anything, but all you can see is kind of like the general numbers. You don't get to see the trade expectancy, the net P&Ls, and all that stuff is hidden, but you can kind of see your graphs and get a good feel for your numbers without looking at the dollar amounts, which could be good. Or if you want to share on social media without showing your numbers and be more private, you can do that. I could have come in here and just kept it on this, but I figured I'd just show you the dollar amounts because why not? There's also R multiple, and then there's also ticks if you track those things. So again, it depends upon what you trade and if that's that's a way that our methodology of tracking your trades. So there's that. Then there's the time. So you can select the time. Year to date, I can go and customly select the time. I can go to like last month, for example. I can go to this month, for example. We're technically red. I got some open positions that are green. So those aren't technically not showing up because I haven't locked them in yet, but technically are red so far this month. Wasn't the best of starts, but we're coming back. It's okay. That's the nature of trading. It's not going to be the same conditions all the time. Up in the top right, we have the 2 accounts that I've been trading in during this period. I had a demo account with Surge Trader so I can test things out before I went to the audition phase or whatever account. So we're trying those, or we have those there. I can go to manage accounts, and under here I can add new accounts. You can have up to 10 accounts connected. So I can name it what I want to name it, add the broker here, profit calculation, set an initial balance, etc. I don't think I set an initial balance on this Webull main PA. So whatever. Either way, you're kind of good to go across the board. You've got more on the settings side, which is where we kind of are landing right now. Actually, I should probably pull us up into settings by itself. So back on the dashboard page, go onto the left-hand side. We have add trade. We're under dashboard. We'll get into this stuff here in a second. But if I go down to the bottom right, I have setting, profile, security, subscription, accounts, commissions, and fees if you want to add commissions and fees, because if you track things a certain way, you can have them automatically account for commissions and fees. There's trade settings, there's global settings, there's different things you can manage right here. Oh, here's actually something that I do want to do because I wanted to get rid of some of these different tags. So I'll come back to this later on, but I've made a bunch of tags over the course of the past year and a half, and then we've got import and trading log history. Okay, so back to the dashboard. Here we are on the dash. Oh yeah, I should also mention too, I think in settings, if you go to settings, there should be a dark mode option in the bottom corner. So, oh man, I can't look at that. So I'm gonna go back to dark mode. Dashboard. So now that we're here, cool, great, awesome. If I were to click on one of these days, it'll open up trades. So for me today, I actually took partial profits on an Adobe long, and then I also entered into a long on target. So those are going to be logged here. You can dive deeper into your daily profit factor, numbers, volume, commissions, etc., all that good stuff. So that's an option, or that's something that I'll do is I do trade recaps on a different channel, and I'll literally take this, screenshot it, send it over to the Photoshop, put it in the thumbnail, boom, done. But I can also add notes in here. So if I was like, hey, this day was terrible, or took profits too early, for example, on Adobe, which I did not, but let's say that I did, I can log that there, or I can say, hey, today, was not great. I was mentally out of it. I can log whatever I want to log. And so I can easily refer back to these notes. If I were to save these notes, Let's go out. Let's actually save this. Now I can view the note anytime and I can check back in and see how the day was. Okay. So that was on this, and you'll see this little, this is the current day. The 22 is highlighted in purple, but we can come back in, refer back into these notes as we need to over time. So in a nutshell, that is the dashboard page. Okay. But the best part, I think, the more interesting parts when it comes, like, this is cool visually and it could be good, and this by itself could be good data, but the real data is deeper. So we've got a daily journal that I can come back to. These are all of our past days that I can go back and view the notes. I can add notes to all these days. It's kind of a different way to look at it. If you wanted to do it that way, I have a trade log. This is going to be all of the trades logged. And I can go back in to check on these trades. I can see the setups, the Zella scale, all these different things. Okay, we've got a report. This is where it gets good. This is the report section. So I'm looking at the report section. Here is the good meat, I believe, of TradeZella. Now, inside of here, it's showing me the same span of time, right? The same quarter. So it's averaging out per month. It's telling me my best month, and if I change the time frames, it can change to whatever I'm looking at. It gives me total P&L, all of these stats and metrics right here. You'll notice that my average hold time on losers is 5 hours and 24 minutes. Average hold time for winners is over a day, showing you that the bigger time frames over the past month and a half seem to be working better. Yeah, so you can kind of see, like, in a nutshell, what this is telling you: winning days, losing days, a lot of the details here. So again, like I was saying, in a nutshell, kind of your basics. Now, if you scroll down under date and time, here's where things get interesting. I'm not going to be able to cover all of this stuff. You can come in here and do it yourself if you want to. But for example, it tracks by day. So it tracks you what days, you're trading, and it has all the days. So on Thursdays, I have the most trades, 38 trades over this period, and I made $254 on Thursdays. However, Tuesdays, killing it, man, almost $1,000 on Tuesdays for whatever reason. That's the day that I trade the least, right? Is there something that we can take away from that? Potentially, the more data, the better. You can start to take away. Mondays were red. That's interesting. Starting the week off, not so great. Now, if I let's go to trade time. What time of day am I most active? You can see the times of days I'm most active and the P&Ls. So we tend to do, it's kind of a little bit choppy early on. We have a decent period of time, 8 to 9 a.m. And then we've got decent from, in the afternoon. Really, the afternoon session, I'm okay. I've done pretty good. So just interesting notes to kind of dive deeper into. And again, this is big stuff, because you can use this to literally be like, whoa, I suck at trading the open. Oh, wow, my data is terrible for power hour. Or, oh, I'm great, during midday. I'm terrible during midday, right? Trade duration, we've got under 1 minute. Now, there's not many trades that have fallen under that category, but I guess some of them who hit my stop loss immediately potentially fall under that category. Or maybe I just wanted to get out quickly. I forget exactly what happened there. But then we got 2 to 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10. But what do we see here? I mean, it's clear as day to me, right? It's clear as day that the longer hold times, which probably correlate to the bigger picture charts, have done better. We've done better, and it's by a massive margin. It's not even close. So that's great data for me, saying, hey, get off the short-term charts. Don't play those. And if we eliminate this, of course, there's going to be red, right? And times are going to change. But if we can, minimize some of this, that's what it's all about. That's why I love looking deeper into this stuff. Price, volume, instrument. So for example, right, it tells me what stocks, was the best, what I'd made the most money on over this time span, or whatever I trade. It could be anything. The US dollar, for example, was one of them. Day select expiration if you're playing options, R multiple, position size. Let's get to setups. So I don't just play bear flag and bull flags, but I kind of log them that way. It's more so like upside breaks versus downside breaks. They play momentum up and down. They don't necessarily, they may not look like a bear or bull flag to everyone, but to me, it's just how I like to log it. So it's pretty much upside break or downside break. I can pretty much call it that, but I call it a flag because it's cool, whatever. But that's, one of the first patterns you learn as a new trader early on, and you're like, it's cool. So I've actually made more money on bear flags over this span, but of course, across the board, pretty good. Failed breakdown is kind of like an inverse. So like playing a bear flag that breaks down, then snaps back. That's the failed breakdown. and I can play the same exact thing on the breakout. You have mistakes. So I have a couple of mistakes that I've logged, playing things that are overextended, meaning had a pretty big move already and I'm getting a little greedy looking for more type of a situation. That's kind of the deal there. Late entry or being impatient. Not all the time do I lose, but there's the deals. Here's where I log some more stuff. So this is something that I just also started to log. So I started logging, I stopped logging this because it was more so an experiment the past, really into October, just to make sure. But when I trade against my system, which I only have one trade logged against my system, it was red. But when I trade with the system, you clearly can see that it was green, which is good. But then I was more so interested in trying to see, which I don't have enough data on, unfortunately, as of yet. There's only a couple of trades. The 5-minute chart's got 17 trades, which is good. The 30-minute chart's got 9 trades, not bad. So just trading based off of different time frames and seeing what I'm good at. So a 5-minute chart, I've actually been okay and not bad. I've been green on that. 30-minute chart though, and this is great because it could get me to stop looking at a 30-minute chart. If I know, hey, I suck at 30-minute charts, or my strategy for the next, or for the 6 months of the year has not done well on 30-minute charts, well, guess what? I'm going to just eliminate 30-minute charts. I may come back to them in the future as time changes, but I'm going to eliminate that because it's just not working for me right now. And so this is good and pretty helpful to use. So I just started tracking all the time frames, so everything's not tracked perfectly here, but I recently started doing that. Beyond that, there's wins versus losses. We can see all this. We can compare that. I can compare different things. There's a calendar option here as well. I can kind of compare and go back and see. My trading has done substantially better since the beginning of the year. I believe it was really from March and April. I have been very consistent. Now there's been ups and downs, but I've been very consistent. And just by looking at these maps, it's not super clear, but I had some bigger losers here in January, February, but March and April. From then on, and even through now, it's been a lot more consistent, and then the game plan becomes scaling up over time. So that's ultimately the goal. Okay. So there's even more data as I scroll down through here, which is pretty cool. So that right there is that. Now we have insights coming soon. They're going to give you some more insights. One of the things I also want to mention here while we're on the insights page, which apparently is coming soon, this is something they're also rolling out, and that's back testing. Apparently, that should be out in a few weeks from when this video goes live. So stay tuned for that. Maybe there's a delay, maybe there's not a delay, who knows? But back testing is a feature that they're about to release in the near term, which is going to be pretty cool. And they've been talking about how that's supposed to be a really nice feature that could help a lot when it comes to looking back on TradeZella. I still want to get into the details of tracking an individual trade, so we'll get into that in a second. But here's TradeZella University. So they have a lot of different videos and explanations. So if you got questions, they've got some good stuff there. We'll post some videos here as well on the channel to help out, which we think we posted a few, but we'll definitely do more. There's the notebook section. We have a playbook section. I haven't done this yet. I might even make a video specifically on this, but you can essentially think about creating a playbook. It's like naming your strategy. So hey, I trade, momentum breakouts. And so I'll come in here and I will create and line by line, build the rules and the things for my strategy. And so I can create a playbook that I can come back to, either refer back to easily to look back to the rules, but also log trades as, hey, it was under this playbook or this strategy, essentially. Trade replay, we'll get to that in a second. I will get back to that in just 1 second. Mentor mode. If you are, let's say, a coach or you are mentoring someone, whether you're paying or not paying for that, you can invite someone and then you could watch and access some of their stats. And so you can see what they're really doing and then be able to give them more accurate feedback via those stats, which is pretty cool. I think it's a feature that for people who are maybe do one-on-one coaching and whatnot, this could be a pretty big deal and pretty cool. And they've got a resource center down here. Any other questions? And they got an economic calendar and all that stuff, which is kind of a cool resource to add in. So let's go back to Trade Replay. Now you can access it here, but I'm going to go back to my dashboard and I'm going to show you how I'm going to access the Trade Replay. So I'm going to go back to a day in here and let's pull up this US 2000. Essentially, this is the Russell 2000. And what I'm going to do now is it shows me when I click on a trade, I have the options to add in notes for this specific trade, and then it goes, and then also will populate the daily journal, so the journal for that day. We have a running chart P&L that I can look at as well, of my trade, the time duration of the entirety of it, which is pretty cool. And then we've got TradingView charts integrated up on the top, and I can change this to different time frames and look at my executions. Here's the long entry, and here's the exit. I believe that was it. Yeah, simple as that. So I can even add indicators and stuff like that for this. So inside of here, I can select a playbook like we were talking before. It shows me the amount that I traded. All of this, I can rate my trade myself. I could set profit targets and stop losses that I had in mind prior to the trade, or it'll take into account the stops that I had and the take profits that I had. So it shows me that I had a 1.93R multiple. I could tag setup. So in this case, I tagged bull flag setup. I can add mistakes in here if I wanted to, and then I added this as a trade based off the 5-minute time frame. So I put in 5-minute chart as my custom. So I can track all that. And again, like you saw in the reporting section, I can then see the data individually for these and see how they're doing in those reports. But I could share it very, very easily right here. But I want to go to the replay feature. So under the top, or up, not under, up in the top right, click on Trade Replay. This is probably my favorite piece to TradeZilla. If you talk about getting the reps in, I mean, you could just go back and retrade or rewatch all of your trades to get the extra reps in when you're reviewing them, which is awesome. They even have the options to tag setups, mistakes, and stuff like that here. There's the TradingView chart up on the top. I entered this trade at 10:10. So I'm going to move the slider along closer to 10 o'clock, and I'm going to start playing it. I'm going to also up the speed so the thing moves faster, and I'm going to leave at the 1-minute chart. So what I'm looking at essentially is move up, and now we're in consolidation. So what I wanted to look for really for this trade was a break of this consolidation, a break to the upside of the consolidation. And once we got that break to the upside, I was looking to get in on the long side, as the Russell was looking good on the higher time frames, looking good on the short time frames, since that was really what I was looking for. So you can see, boom, we broke a new high of the day. I got in. We can watch the trade play out, and we can even watch where my exit was. For this trade, my stop loss was under breaking candle low, so it was pretty much right around here that I have my stop loss set to. And then you'll see the exit when we do exit those 25, I guess, contracts or whatever you want to call it, 25 units of the Russell 2000. So boom, 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 it's moving along. You can see the whole thing play out, and take profit is taken. Boom. So, and then it shows you the quantity, my P&L, the trade duration, all that great stuff. And I can keep playing this out over time, but great way to look back. I can even change the time frames of the charts. Great way to look back at things, and great way to really learn from your trades by just getting additional reps, which is my favorite part of TradeZilla, to be honest with you. So there you guys have it. That is TradeZilla for beginners, pretty much covering the majority of the platform. Obviously, we can't do everything. We didn't cover every single aspect, every nook and cranny, but you get the gist. If you got any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll leave a link below this video to TradeZilla if you want to try them out. It is an affiliate link, so it does support the channel, but you don't have to use that if you don't want to. It's up to you. Thanks so much for watching, and happy journaling.